Say hello, Lucy. Very good. Oh, how cute are you? Welcome back to my Pan That palette. Here is my conspiracy palette, and please remember to like and subscribe for more Burb content. We love Burb. She's being extra cuddly today, so maybe she might hang around with me, huh? Instead of just screaming from the window. Yeah? Anyway, before we open this up, we'll talk about the weight. This was 469 grams last month, and this month it is 468 grams. So we've lost a gram, which I think is good. That's kind of the goal, to lose a gram a month. Even though it's gonna take forever to pan this guy. It's progress. Alright, so firstly, here is what the palette looks like last month. And here is what we're looking like this month. I don't know if that's going to be blurry or whatever, but here we go. So, unfortunately, there's no new pans in here, even though my goal was to hit pan on cheese dust. It didn't happen because I rolled in pigment as my pan those eyeshadows, which is on my Instagram. I'll go check it out on there, link in the description. But I kind of switched from using the orange a lot to the pink because they're very, very similar tones, even though they're different colors. Okay. So let's go through pan by pan and we'll talk about it. So firstly, ranch. I mean, it's really difficult to tell, but it's starting to get sort of a crater going down rather than harsh and then pan. The pan is also expanding a little bit, but it's gonna take a long time because, you know, it's kind of an inner corner shade. So yeah, although I did wear it all over my eyes one day this week. If you, it will be in a video coming out soon, my Weeb uniform haul. So please keep your eyes out and subscribe for that one. Next shade, my pills. So I have used this a decent amount this month. I'm wearing it today on my eyes. Yeah, there's not much left of this. So I think it's gonna be finished anytime soon. We're very close to hitting side pan on pretty much every single side. So that's really exciting. It's a really huge pan, and yeah, I mean, I'm not really a person who represses things, but if I were, this would be at the stage that you would repress it. Though the shadow is very, very powdery, so I don't think we really need to repress it if it's going to kick up that much anyway, so it coats the brush very evenly. So I don't think it's entirely necessary. Tanacon. So I used this a little bit this month on more neutral days, and there's a bit of expansion in the pan, like a tiny bit. It's nothing like huge. There is a weird like white dot in there, I think where the formula hasn't mixed that well, which for such an expensive palette you would think. Anyway. Tanacon, yeah, I mean, Diet root beer, okay, it's really hard to tell, but I use this a lot this month, and there is actually a dip forming in it. Now that's impressive because it's a very hard pressed pan here, and we're starting to get the tiniest dip right in the center of the root beer, and that's exciting. Yeah, I think that might actually be a shade that I could hit pan on at some point. I think it's just because it's autumn in Australia right now, so it's a very good autumn shade, even though we have issues with this row. We do. Just a theory. It still has the same general pan shape, but I don't know if it's that easy to tell, but it's sort of been wearing away like the crater edges a lot. So I have used a decent amount of this shade, and yeah, it's a lovely shade and I really enjoy using it. I think it's one of the biggest pans in this palette, and I think it will, you know, be continued to use, although we are coming into winter, so I don't think it's a real winter shade, but yeah, we'll see. Spiraling, I don't think I used once, and same with Conspiracy. I don't think I used it at all. Those two shades, I hate them. So, as I mentioned, pigment is in my pan those eyeshadows, so we're getting a dip. It's kind of difficult to see at the moment, but there is a dip happening towards here, this kind of section. And I think I'll probably hit pan on it very soon. It's a lovely shade too. I really enjoy wearing it. I'm wearing it today. It's beautiful and it's a lovely tone of pink. One of the greatest shades of this palette. Food videos, I didn't use. Trisha I used today, and we can see that the pattern on the pan is wearing away, so exciting. Cheese Dust I used a lot before I rolled pigment into my pan those eyeshadows. I used this shade so many times, and the pattern of the pig is worn away like so much, especially around its face, and it has a dip in there. It's just there's so much eyeshadow, so I don't know if I'm going to hit pan at any point soon, but I am definitely proud of myself for using this so much. Flaming Hot, I don't think I used. I had a red in my pan those eyeshadows and I used it to death. Like, if you saw my Londoners review, I pretty much wore that Super Shock shadow every single day, and it was a red eyeshadow. So I was very done with red eyeshadow, so using Flaming Hot was just not something I was thinking about. Which is unfortunate, because it's a nice shade. It's just that tone of red that's more pinky rather than actually red. Not a true red at all. What's the Tea I also did not use because of my pan those eyeshadows, unfortunately, because I have two light blue / aqua turquoise kind of shades in my pan those eyeshadows, and they're both the same tone as What's the Tea, so that's very inconvenient. But once I hit pan on those, I think I'll come back to using it, because I have started using those kinds of shades on my bottom eyelid under here, and I think it brings out the blue in my eyes a lot, so I'm enjoying them. And I think What's the Tea would work perfectly fine in that context as well. Yes, Lucy. Diet Cola I used today on my inner corner, and we can see I've worn away a bit of the pan. I've worn away a bit of the design, which is exciting. It's, you know, a very underwhelming silver. Not a Fact, I also am wearing today. It is so pigmented, so will there ever be a change in this one? I am unsure. Sleep Paralysis I'm wearing today and wore quite a few times. It's hard to tell because of how silver it is, but the pan is expanding and it's a lovely shade. It's just it doesn't blend very well. That's my only issue with it. But it's good to kind of wear all over the eyes. I'm wearing it on my outer corner, and it's a beautiful multi-chrome and it's very unique. I do like it a lot. It can just be a bit overwhelming. Yes, Lucy. My rides here and Illuminati, I don't think I used either of them at all. I did briefly clean up Illuminati, but yeah. it's just not a shade that I use often. So my goals for next month. I think what I want to do is obviously pan pigment because it's in my Pan Those eyeshadows, and I'm very happy about it being in my eyeshadows because it's like double incentive to pan it. So I think that I also would like to wear away the design of Diet Root Beer since I have been using it more recently. That would really be nice. I mean, I would love to give myself a goal of using up my pills, but I know that's just not realistic. But I do think come winter time, these shades, Ranch, My Pills, and Diet Cola, will definitely be something that's more realistic to try to pan and use more of. But yes, I think since it is autumn, and it will be, I mean, I'll get a little bit of winter at the start of the next update, but we should think about more autumn goals for me, since I do enjoy wearing seasonal eyeshadow. Diet Root Beer, I think, is a goal to just expand that because I am enjoying it a lot now. And I usually pair Diet Root Beer with Tanacon, so I think that by using Diet Root Beer, Tanacon, there will be a decent amount of progress there. It would be nice for me to start using Spiraling Conspiracy again, considering I just don't use them at all. And they're just, if I don't use them, they're just not going to get any progress whatsoever. I guess another goal I should have is at least using these two shades down here once, because I mean, my rides here I used the smallest amount of, and I just didn't use it at all because I have a grey in my Pan Those eyeshadows that, you know, this is not the nicest and most black, it's kind of smoky black, so it might as well be a grey, so I just don't tend to reach for it. And Illuminati, I mean, to be honest, it's more of a winter shade, so I should probably leave that one out, but I should do some more like eyeliner with the black. That makes sense, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be too strict on these goals just because, to be real, I'm kind of sick of this palette, but it's good to just have there when I'm going to work and I just want to put on something quick and easy. So yeah, I'm kind of using it a little bit less because I have such a huge eyeshadow collection and I'm sick of using just this palette. I've been more just using one shade out of it and then building an eyeshadow palette and building an eyeshadow look with other shades that I have with me. So yeah, I mean, I look at this palette and I'm just so uninspired by it since the shades are just chaotic and weird and just not very complementary to each other. I hope you enjoy this series of watching me pan this palette and get through it very, very slowly, and I'm sorry for that. And if you would like to subscribe to stick around for this series and see me eventually finish up this palette, please consider subscribing. Also subscribe for Burb. Burb is cuddly today, or very cute. And remember to like the video if you enjoyed this video, and we will say goodbye. Oh, I don't want to bother her, she's too cute and snuggled. Oh, hello. Yes, we love you. Everyone loves you. Alright, say goodbye, Lucy.